guys, how you doing? Just thought I'd shoot a little vlog here and kind of tell you a story about how yesterday went for me. Kind of the joys of business, the ups and downs that you kind of got to go through, and the responsibility that you have when you're a contractor and you're out here taking care of people. So, you know, we all want to sell systems, make money, take care of people, get them up and running. If you can't get them up and running, or if it's not cost effective for them, then you know, people will choose to change their system out with you, and now you got like a $10,000 job, you know, lined up, and you know, good profits for your company and stuff like that. And that's a lot of money for those customers to be spending for a new system. And it needs to be done the right way. It needs to be the right decision for everyone. Obviously, it's a great decision for me, right? For the contractor. But is it the right decision for them? And that's the debate we had yesterday. That's the situation that I had to let this 80-year-old woman know. Sweet lady, super sweet lady. She's got a 17-year-old Train package unit on the roof. And we had gone out there for a tune-up probably about a month ago. Went out there for a tune-up, and everything checks out fine. We go out for a diagnostic, actually about a couple, probably this past week. So earlier in the week, like Wednesday, I think it was. We go out there, and she says, you know, the reason why we called you guys for the tune-up a month ago is because my tenant in the upstairs apartment, like a little granny house, had said that she had heard, you know, some strange noises coming from the AC on the roof. So that's why they called us out. We didn't notice anything at the time we started the system up and went through our checks, so everything seemed to be fine then. When we came out there on Wednesday, they told us again, hey, we're getting some strange noises from the system, kind of like a loud bang and just not good noises coming from the package unit on the roof. So we go up and we investigate, and sure enough, the system won't start up. We had found that the start relay was stuck. So we went to go try to replace that, and we did actually get the compressor to start up. But once it started up, it just made like this, like, you know, like I guess it was making like a really just vibrating, you know, pretty violently, and like shaking the whole roof. So when it started up, and he could hear like some garbling going on inside the compressor, you know, just noises you don't want to hear, right? So he let him know. He let the lady know that you know, it sounds like you got something going on with your compressor. It's having a hard time starting up. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not, and you know, so that's when you go into options about repair versus replace. And so we offered to replace the compressor. We offered to do whatever she wanted to, but if she was going to replace the compressor, it was going to be, you know, a couple $1,000s to do that. So you know, she went into the conversation of, well, you know, it's been a good system, but you know, at 18 years old, I don't think I want to put that kind of money into it. Let's get a new system, you know. And that's kind of long the story short, because when you're dealing with older people, you know, sometimes the conversation can be slow, and really you want to make sure that this lady knows the decisions that she's making with her money. So Keith actually gets her all lined up we actually get her all lined up for a new system. I got the crane ordered, I got the delivery ordered of the system. I got the equipment all ordered, all the parts for the job, everything is ordered. We got the permit for the job, so we spent, I think that particular job came out to a few $100s for the permit. We got the Title 24 lined up. We've gone through every step that we need to go through. Haven't really put in a ton of money, but we've got things lined up, and credit cards are going to start being charged today. Like normal, right? I mean, you got this all lined up, we're ready to go, ready to do the install. Well, the lady calls me up the night before the install, about 8 o'clock p.m. the night before the install, and she's concerned because her system's running now, her air conditioner's running now. And, you know, so like, that's kind of weird to me as well. So like, she wants to know, you know, is this the right decision to be making, changing the system out? Is this really the right decision to do? And, you know, initially I kind of went into service tech mode and started thinking, well, you know, motors can intermittently start going out. You know, like a lot of times they don't just, you know, go out in a big bang and they're done. You know, motors that are like seizing up or have internal parts damaged on the inside can, you know, kind of putter out like an old car. You know, it starts up sometimes, doesn't start up other times, and that's just kind of our sign that this system is on its way out. And this system may still be on its way out. But I told her, you know, so I went around probably 3 times, you know, in a circle of conversation, about 3 times telling her this, you know. It was like, you know, is this the right decision? Well, intermittent operation and blah, 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 and we think this is the right thing to do. And then she's like, again, you know, well, I just want to make sure that this is the right thing to do, you know, and do you really think this is it? You know, and I'm like, do I have, and I'm just like, you know, you totally have options to replace the compressor, or you can replace the system. And so, you know, went through that a few times with her. You got to be as patient as possible when you're talking about stuff like this with your customers too. Especially, you know, especially here in California, when you're dealing with a person who's over 65. But especially when you're dealing with sweet little old ladies who are 80 years old, you got to make sure that that she knows she's 100% competent in this conversation. So I go to sleep that night. She goes to sleep that night. I wake up around 4 o'clock just thinking, man, is this the right thing to do? Like, to get ready to do this install. I got everything lined up. Like, I've got everything going in motion. I want to get this thing going. But the contractor part of me is saying something's not right. Like, we need to get someone else involved on this conversation, because there is such a thing called elderly abuse in California, and anyone over 65 who you are deemed by the courts to have taken advantage of, you can be liable for elderly abuse in California. So, and there are some contractors around here who have been found guilty of that, and I just don't want that even remotely on my plate. Like, it's just not worth it, right? The commission to my sale, the commission to my service tech who's out there selling the system. You know, he's fired up. He's got 6% of that commission coming to him on his next paycheck already, and he's already probably got that spent in his mind, you know, before he even gets his paycheck. We think of it as good income for the company, but is this the right thing to do in this situation? So our install is going to start at 10 a.m. yesterday morning, and the crane's coming at 2. We just happened to, you know, have a late crane So I wasn't even going to start the job. Usually we'll start at 7 a.m., but I wasn't even going to start the job until 10 because I'm not going to sit there and wait around for hours for the crane. So I call her up at 7:30 in the morning, which is probably still a little early. I think I woke her up too, but I asked her if it would be okay if I came over and took a look at the system, started it up, checked the system out, maybe just get like a third set of eyes on it. And she said, yeah, that would be great. She would feel really comfortable if I would come out and take a look at it. So I did. I go out there, I sit down, I talk to her for a little bit. I just wanted to let her know that I am completely here. Let's do the right thing, you know, like I want to make sure we're just doing the right thing for her. You know, it's not about me and my business and one lousy install. It's about her and her understanding what's going on. So I said, is there a family member that we can get on the phone with us? Do you have a daughter or a son who you feel is responsible enough to help you make a decision with a big purchase like this? And she said, well, you know, I have my daughter. And I was like, that's perfect. If we could just put her on speakerphone, and then we could have an open conversation about the decision that you have to make here, then I would just feel a lot better going into this installation if you had a family member who was also like, yeah, let's go ahead and move forward with the install, or yes, let's go ahead and move forward with the repair of the compressor. So that's what we did. She was able to get the daughter on the phone. We had this conversation. I explained to her the options between repair and replace. I let her know about the compressor replacement, what it entails. They had questions like, well, you know, if anything else breaks on the system, is it repairable? And I said, absolutely. Everything on your system is repairable. We can replace every single part on your system as long as it's still made. You know, like a manufacturer, like a heat exchanger. As long as the heat exchanger is still around, we can replace it. But like switches, boards, contacts, relays, things like that, we can change all that stuff. So I do want you to, you know, I want to be honest. I want you to know that. Okay, so I tell her, hey, I'm going to go up and look at the system, and you guys talk about it over the phone. As I'm going over to the thermostat and switching on the system, I can hear them already starting the conversation. And she was saying, the daughter was saying, Mom, aren't you only going to be there for another year or two anyways? And Mom was like, yeah, I am. And she was like, well, I just personally think, you know, $2,000 repair is a lot better than a $10,000 replacement. And they started, you know, and then I left. I went up to the roof, and I could just kind of see where the conversation was going. So I go up, I check the system out. Compressor's running at 9 amps out of 14.5 RLA. And I'm comfortable with that. Fan motor's running great. Wiring looks good. Capacitor is meets factory specs. Keith had put the old start capacitor back in, the one that had the stuck relay on it. And that's where we were at. So everything was looking good to me on the system. To the point that if another HVAC system were called out and they came out and looked at this system, they'd be like, yeah, everything's fine on this system. Compressor's running great, fans running great, capacitors, contactors, everything's looking good. I don't know what that Fox family was talking about, why they were, you know, they're greedy little scumbags that want to take all your money. It's like, you know, I don't want to be that company. So I went down and told her and her daughter, hey, this is what I found on your system. To me, you know, like if another company came out, they would probably say, hey, this system's running just fine. I know you've got some So I know you've got some noises going on with the system, some clunking, some banging, some rattling, but I need to see it when it's happening. So I need to see, like I'll come out on Sunday. If it breaks down again on you this weekend, I'll come out on Sunday if I have to and diagnose it, and then we can continue this conversation about what's best for you. But even right now, I'm not sure that it's 100. I'm not 100% sure that changing the compressor is the way to go. Just having coming out today and seen, how it's running today. But I do believe my service tech when he said, the other day this thing was shaking violently, making lots of noise. I completely believe Keith. Whatever he says, I completely have his back, and I know what he says is the God honest truth. So, ultimately it comes down to I end up leaving the job, not having lined up any compressor change out. We're definitely not doing the install anymore. I call my territory manager and let him know, hey, the job's off for today. This is the right thing to do. So he was able to cancel that order for me. I had to call Go-Getters and cancel the delivery pickup. Had to call the crane, cancel that. Had to call Title 24, cancel that. And then we're out the $300 we spent for the permit. Unless she goes forward with the, in the future, but I'm not going to cancel that permit just yet. But yeah, interesting call yesterday. It's just one of those things that as a contractor, I just don't want to be a dirty contractor, a greedy contractor. I want to do what's right for the customer every time. If you do that, the money will come. So it's that important. So I just kind of thought I'd tell you guys that story, what was going on yesterday. I sure do love being a contractor. I love having my own business. I love having to make these decisions, very important decisions. I mean, these are people's lives. This is people's money, people's nest eggs that you're dealing with, and you have to take care of these customers. It's our obligation to take care of these customers, to do the right thing for them, what's right for them. If you do that, I think your reputation will precede you in the future. Your reviews will go sky high online, and that's super important. And you'll be able to sleep at night because you're not taking people for a ride, So, all right. Well, thanks so much for listening, and just a little vlog about some interesting stuff going on in the business. Got some more stuff to talk about in the future. Just lots of stuff going on at Fox Family right now, and just really excited about how things are looking for us. So thanks so much for watching, and see you on the next video.